today we're going to make these teddy bear cupcakes, which are super cute as you can see, but also probably a little bit easier than you expect. So let's take a look. For the fur, I'm using the Wilton 233 grass tip, but if I made these again, I would go with the 234 instead. It's slightly bigger and it will cover each cupcake more quickly. You'll also want round open tips for making the facial features. I suggest Wilton 3, 4, 10, and 12 for the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. Use one piping bag per tip if you can, so you're not also having to constantly swap out nozzles. And optional, but marking your design with a toothpick first can help you envision before you fully commit. Now we're just going to get into it. First, here's how not to pipe a cupcake. The biggest mistake I see is hovering the tip above a surface, like a cake or cupcake, and letting it float there without ever making contact and then pulling away. So as you can see, that just does not work. Your frosting needs to touch the tip of your surface so that the design can connect with it. But once you have this process down, it's really just about pressing, pulling, and repeating until the whole cupcake is covered. And this design is really forgiving. Fur is imperfect, so if you don't love a spot that you've just piped, you can go right back over it. Buttercream is not permanent, so don't stress. Now here I'm building the muzzle with a bigger open tip, number 12. It's a little bumpier than I would like, but we're going to return to this later to smooth it out, and it's actually a pretty neat trick that I'm excited to show you. And we can do the same thing with the ears if we want to clean them up a bit later. So this set of cupcakes was for a baby boy's first birthday, so blue was a really fun option to include, but think of all of this as choosing your own adventure. Any color combination really works and can be super cute, just following the same technique. So after making the ears, we will go ahead and pipe the muzzle onto this design. Like I said earlier, I really love a smooth finish, and I can be a bit of a perfectionist about it, but truly this is not a big deal. Do as I say and not as I do. We are going to smooth these out a little bit later though, but building the frosting like this is a nice way to create a bit of a 3D sort of effect and raise the muzzle against the background of the fur. So I went with chocolate too as a third option, and it tasted really good. But again, flavors and colors are totally up to you. This video is kind of like a starting point just to get the ideas flowing, and the technique will work the same regardless of the colors you select. Now here is one of my favorite decorating hacks. Once your frosting has set up a bit and formed a crust simply from air drying, use the back of a spoon to shape your design. If the design and buttercream is already very firm, sometimes I will warm the spoon a bit so it can soften the frosting further, but this always creates such a nice, smooth finish. Now we have switched to smaller tips like Wilton 3 and 4, and I'm using them to pipe the eyes here, and I will do the same with the nose and the mouth. Note that you may have to swirl the frosting a bit and kind of press it down into the design if you're having a hard time getting the shape that you want, but I think people forget that buttercream is very malleable, so it is super easy to guide it and create the look and appearance that you want. For most of these bears, I gave them sideways smiley faces, but for a couple here and there, I did pipe little dots beneath their mouths so they looked a bit shocked. That was a pretty fun way to give them personality, but you can take this any which way and just have fun with it. If I changed one thing about these designs, I would make my chocolate fur a shade lighter by adding less cocoa to it, so there would be more contrast. But the sugar pearls in the eyes help the expressions here still pop. So that's it, teddy bear cupcakes. Full tutorial on my blog, susanbringsdessert.com. I'd love to answer any questions you have in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.